Hello, welcome. Isn't this great? I mean, being back at the museum, this is fantastic. So we've had a long 5 years of not being here since COVID, and it's just really good to be back here. Colonel Reese, Dan, appreciate all that for this. I can't think of a better backdrop to host the State of the Base event for us. So it is good to be back here for that. So to start us off, I'm going to ask our Mi'kmaq chair, Jacob Gore, to come out and start with the invocation.
Hey everyone, my name is Jacob Gore, owner of the Gore Agency, Alpha Insurance, and I'm honored to serve as this year's Robins Regional and Middle Georgia Military Affairs Committee Chair. Like you all, I look forward to hearing from our community and base leaders today, which we proudly support each and every day. And so I ask if you all would please rise and bow your heads. Dear Lord, we just thank you for this day today, Lord, and just thank you for bringing us together here safely, Lord. And just as we get to obtain this information that we get to hear from these leaders today, Lord, on how that information impacts our daily lives each and every day here in Middle Georgia, Lord. And we just thank you so much for that, and continue to bless and honor these leaders that we have up here on the stage today, Lord, and guide them with wisdom, Lord, and that make these decisions, Lord, that will continue to make our area the best that it is, Lord, and continue to make this Air Force Base everything that it is and everything that it means in this community, Lord. We love you a lot. We just thank you so much for that. And Lord, lastly, I thank you so much for the strong relationships that have been built here in this community, Lord, with our community and the base, and we just thank you so much for that. Just help those relationships to continue to get better. As we all, we have a job to do here, Lord, and it is to come together, Lord, because at the end of the day, we all are on one team, Lord. We just thank you so much for that. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please rise for the presentation of colors by members of the Warner Robins High School Junior ROTC and the singing of our national anthem by the Distinguished Young Woman of Georgia 2025, Miss Abby Bragg.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag
Give Abby and our color guard another round of applause, please. Yeah, and Abby, if anybody, you may be seated, excuse me. And if Abby or the color guard needs an excuse, I think we need to get the program, get Colonel Reese to sign their program, and that'll be a good enough excuse to miss class today, so. We could not hold this event if it weren't for our sponsors. I'd like to recognize those. They're in your program, but I want to kind of go through those as well. Our gold level sponsors are Credence Management Solution, Mercer University, and Terma. Our silver level is the City of Warner Robins and Middle Georgia State University. You're greeted out here probably by our Southern Hospitality sponsors, Fickling and Company. Our supporting sponsors are Flint Energies and Happy Hour Service Center. Big shout out to Brad and his team at Sonny's for providing a very nice lunch for us today as well. Dan in the museum here for hosting us as well. But now I'd like to bring out Miss Christina O'Brien, followed by Dan with Robins Financial Credit Union, our presenting sponsor. Ms. Christina.
Good afternoon. It's an honor to stand before you guys today as a representative of our business community and also as the presenting sponsor for this exciting event. At Robins Financial Credit Union, our roots run deep with Robins Air Force Base. Our credit union was founded by military and civilian personnel right here on the base, and our very first branch was opened within its gates. For more than 70 years, we've remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the military community, providing trusted financial services, supporting military-focused organizations, and fostering programs that enhance the well-being of servicemen and servicewomen. Our philosophy of people helping people guides everything we do, and we know that strong partnerships, like the one between Robins Air Force Base and our community, are essential for shared success. On behalf of Robins Financial Credit Union, we are proud to support this year's State of the Base event and the collaboration it represents. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today at your Museum of Aviation. This place is absolutely fabulous, and hopefully after you enjoy your time here today with this event, you take some time and take a look at all the displays that we have. It's fantastic. Just want to make a couple of notes on some events that we have coming up. Of course, March 19th is State of the Base, so I think that's online. Where's the mayor? There she is. So if you haven't got an invitation, take a look online. I think there's an RSVP ability there. We have the Dixie Crow Symposium, 25th, 26th of March. And oh, by the way, y'all notice much brighter in here? The lighting looks a lot better. Thank the Dixie Crows for the $15,000 donation that they provided to add these new lights. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Also, right after that is the Robins Requirement Symposium, 27 March. These events are going to be fantastic. And then on 29 March, in partnership with the city as well, we're having a Vietnam Veterans Reception. So look forward to having you at those events. Appreciate the opportunity. Appreciate that you all are here today. Thank you so much for April and her team for choosing this location. Thank you.
All right, next, it's my privilege to introduce Ms. Laura Mathis to kick off our program today. Laura is uniquely qualified to provide a local perspective on the global impact segment. In addition to her position as Executive Director for the Middle Georgia Regional Commission, Laura has served on the Air Force Material Command Civic Leader Program for over a decade. Laura was also nationally recognized as the 2024 Local Defense Community Champion by the Association of Defense Communities. If anybody knows anything about the impact of Robins Air Force Base in this region, it's going to be Ms. Laura. So please join me in welcoming her to the stage.
I'm not quite as tall as Chairman Lester. Give me just a moment. So thank you, Chairman Lester and the Robins Regional Chamber for the opportunity to be here today and provide remarks on behalf of the region for the 2025 State of the Base. I'm excited to share some observations of the past year and some opportunities for the future. The Middle Georgia Regional Commission provides professional services to cities and counties in our 11-county region. We assist local governments in accomplishing their visions for vibrant, thriving communities. We have the privilege to stand next to local elected officials as their projects go from concept to reality, and as they go farther and faster in pursuit of their vision. As a regional organization, one of our roles is to respect the individual contributions of each community, and then to weave together the common threads that connect us. We are here today at this event because of one common thread: Robins Air Force Base. Although the fence line of Robins Air Force Base is wholly located in Houston County, and its impact and presence extend beyond the geographic limits of any one county. Year over year, Robins Air Force Base touches more than half of Georgia's 159 counties through employment and retirees. Beyond employment and contracts, Robins impacts the entire world through its critical work in our national defense. And Robins cannot deliver its mission alone. Last week, at the Air Force Association Warfare Symposium, Chief of Staff of the Air Force, General David Alvin, shared his vision for the state of the Air Force. He made the case for air power in the National Defense Strategy. That should not be a surprise. And in case you missed his keynote address, here are a few key messages. 1, our Air Force continues to kick butt. Our airmen are doing amazing things every day, and they make it look normal. And we must sustain and maintain the ability to go anytime, anywhere, and to do that, we must have one Air Force and more Air Force. Now that's General Alvin's Air Force-wide perspective, and soon you'll hear from the leaders here at Robins about our contribution to national security. And I believe that there will be some common themes. So for the remainder of my time today, I'll highlight a few examples of Team Robins, Robins Ready, Robins Proud, from my non-base perspective. The past 12 months have been a time of change, opportunity, and winning. As I begin, I want to acknowledge the role of every airman. Rarely do we talk about the work of Team Robins, such as keeping the lights on, keeping the base secure, making sure parts and supplies have been acquired, and that the bills get paid. This work powers every single mission. Without the work of these airmen, their colleagues would be challenged to deliver warfighting capabilities on a moment's notice. Team Robins made sure that when something was needed, it was there, anytime, anywhere. Over the past year, Team Robins celebrated 70 years of the flight of the C-130, one of the most versatile and active aircraft in the Air Force's fleet. And as you know, since 1964, Robins has been the central hub of depot maintenance and modernization of the C-130. Through our work, it remains an essential tool in our national defense. General Alvin visited Robins this fall, calling us the melting pot of the Air Force after a review of our missions. This unique opportunity allowed us to highlight our legacy platforms, cutting-edge technologies, and the ethos of Team Robins. It's always helpful when the Chief of Staff sees for himself the amazing warfighting capabilities we have at Robins. Robins then hosted General Duke Richardson and the Air Force Material Command Civic Leader Program. During these civic leader trips, he doesn't plan things for us and then move on. He is there with us every moment of every day, learning alongside us. During our first 2 days, we were immersed in all things Robins, inside the fence. Civic leaders during those days kept asking us, well, what about, and how do you do, and who made that happen? And on the final day, we showed them how did we make that happen. We showcased Project Synergy, Robins North, Robins Solar, Blue Sky, Mercer University, the Vector Center, the Museum of Aviation, and First Robotics, sending them home exhausted. At the end of the trip, not only did General Richardson call the visit a home run, but civic leaders from across our nation remarked about the successes of Team Robins. They saw our relentless pursuit of excellence, our integration between base and community, and our innovation. In December, senior leaders from the Air Combat Command visited Robins. They saw Team Robins in action and observed that the level of collaboration between the units at Robins was extremely high. And with the goal of operational readiness, relationships and collaboration mean that we can respond faster and stronger. Robins ready. Team Robins started calendar year 2025 with a huge win. The C5 program depot maintenance from the 559th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron won the coveted Mason Award for Depot Maintenance Excellence in the entire Department of Defense. So if you were a sports fan, think of this as the national championship, the Super Bowl, the World Cup, and the World Series championship all rolled into one across the Department of Defense. In late February, the Air Force Sustainment Center Civic Leader Program came to tour Robins. During General Hawkins' visit, Robins solidified its position as the headquarters location for the Air Force Sustainment Center Software Directorate and the appointment of Ms. Bobby Hager to lead that new organization. History was made that day, and the future of Robins is bright. Our job is to keep going as fast and as hard as we can in pursuit of excellence. Speaking of the future, in 2041, Robins Air Force Base will be 100 years old. Robins Ready demands that we take tangible steps to ensure that we are ready for the fight tomorrow. The Robins Air Force Base Middle Georgia Sustainability Plan, along with Air Force readiness exercises and other base and community planning efforts, will help us identify the path forward. A Robins 2041 approach provides us with the opportunity to align our resources, energy, and efforts to continue being a center of excellence, a place where innovation happens and airmen succeed every day. Based on our history, Robins has a reputation for excellence in everything that we do, and we're winning because of it. So just to recap, that Mason Award, the 4 new missions in command and control, communications, and advanced battle management, and most recently, the first software directorate in the Sustainment Center. Recently, Dan Rhodes, from the president of the Air Force's second largest museum, was recognized by the Association of Defense Communities as a 2024-2025 Defense Community Champion. It's not a surprise that his relentless pursuit of excellence has been recognized by others. It's who we are. It's who we've always been. Robins also has a new seat at the Air Force table. Through the efforts of many, I've started a term as a member of the Department of the Air and Space Force Civic Leader Program. Recognizing the moments that we're in and those who have come before me in this role, I am humbled for the opportunity to serve, listen, and learn. As we stand at this pivotal time, as the host community and region, our mission is as important today as it was that day in June 1941 when Wellston was selected to be the home of the 2nd Air Corps Depot. Our Air Force, the ones who are kicking butt, needs us to be ready, supportive, and innovative in ways that we enable Robins to accomplish its mission. So, when we hear Team Robins, we must answer Robins ready, Robins proud. I know that I'll answer that way, and I'm confident that I will not be the only voice in the wilderness. It's who we are, and it's who we've always been. Thank you.
Please welcome Robins Installation and 78th Air Base Wing Commander, Colonel Diedrich Reese, along with Chamber President and CEO, April Bragg.
How's everybody doing? Are y'all excited to be back at the museum? That deserves a round of applause. In fact, I think Dan was so excited about us being back that he also thought we were coming back next week, but that's Mayor Patrick for the State of the City next week, and we hope you guys can come back out and enjoy this incredible venue. The lighting upgrade, thank you, Dan. I can actually read the questions this year, so that's very exciting, but welcome, and thank you all so much. As Dan said, or as Jack said, I can't think of a better backdrop for this event, and we are excited as our community comes together annually to hear from our mission partners and base leadership about the state of the base. So Colonel Reese, thank you for welcoming us here and for sharing with us and sitting in our little conversation nook. I have to give a quick shout out to Ronnie Babbitt and West Plumbing for picking up the furniture from my office and bringing it here for us so we could have somewhere to sit with you guys today. But Colonel Reese, I know everybody is anxious. When you say the word state of the base, people want to hear directly from you. What is the state of the base? How are things at Robins? And how can we as a community support you? So let's just jump right in and set the stage for us today.
Yeah, so to answer your question, the base is thriving. We are Robins proud, and especially with civic leaders like Laura Mathis behind us and the things that she said, I mean, we have no choice but to be proud to be able to serve our civic leaders like her. So Laura, thank you for that amazing intro and the background information. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for bringing this back to the museum. This is amazing. The Air Force's second largest museum, but we are the best.
Amen. I've
No
seen them all.
mistake about it. Dan Rhodes, you do an amazing job. Thank you for the lighting. This is an amazing venue and backdrop, and it just feels like military. Like it's time to talk about base business, and that's what we're here to do. You know, we talked about, Laura mentioned a few things, just how bright the future is and, you know, the challenges that we're facing, and we'll continue to those, but we will be successful in the end because we are Robins proud. So let me get into a few things that we're going to go through today. So my teammates, our mission partners are here. They're going to join us on stage, and they're going to talk about their individual missions, successes, and the future of the base and some of the challenges we might face. But in the end, just like I said, it's all success at the end. And at the very end, I'll give the 2024 economic impact for the base. So that's what's to come. Let me add something else real quick, April, if I will. And I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Right? I think we all have questions about the impacts on our federal force at the time, including our civilians on base, our Air National Guard members, our reservists. They're all impacted by what's going on with our government. But I'll tell you, our leaders, they're focused on ensuring we manage personnel and resources efficiently while we execute this mission, and specifically our mission here at Robins. We'll continue to execute that through this. Some decisions are still pending, but what I'll tell you about Robins Air Force Base is Robins Air Force Base will comply with all of our presidential executive orders. And anything beyond that is pure speculation. So we'll continue to lead our way through this. We'll continue to lead with grace. We'll continue to lead with compassion. We'll continue to lead with empathy. But one thing we all know, and Laura alluded to this, that change is inevitable. We've been through this before. We've been through change here at Robins. We've been through change with the community, but we've done it together. And on the backside, we've been successful and we've been stronger. Because this community and this base together, the resilience is unmatched. And that's what's going to carry us through. And if you don't understand why Robins is built different, why we are who we are, it's our culture. It's in our DNA. We can't help but to go through the challenges and come out on the other end successful. And that's what we will do this time. We will adapt, we will lead, we will execute this mission with excellence. And that's why we are Robins proud, ladies and gentlemen.
I love it. That deserves a round of applause. And Colonel Reese, you touched on the culture, and I think that's something that is so evident to 400 plus of you in the room, and many of you who have been stationed elsewhere and who are now here. One thing that we know is the missions at Robins are essential to the Air Force and the future of our warfighter, but also we know that this community, unlike I dare say any other, supports the men and women who make those missions possible. And we're here to support Robins whatever way we can, and this is just a great opportunity for us to hear directly from those mission partners about those priorities.
Yeah, absolutely, April. So in a moment, I'm going to invite my teammates up, our primary mission partners on the installation. Our leaders will join me here on stage. But what we're going to talk about are those future missions and how we're going to get there, the successes that we've achieved at this point, and also what we're looking at for the future. And like I said, at the end, I'll give the economic impact for the entire installation on the economy.
Saving it for dessert.
That's it.
I like it.
Okay, so at this time, I'd like my teammates to join us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me is the Warner Robins Air Logistics Complex Commander, Brigadier General Eberlin, the Deputy Commander for Headquarters Air Force Reserve Command, Major General Les Bradfield, the Commander of the 461st Air Control Wing, Colonel Adam Shelton, and the Commander of the 116th Air Control Wing, Colonel Chris Dunlap. Ladies and gentlemen, please give them a round of applause.
Join us in welcoming them. Yeah, Chris, you can sit by me. Either way. I'll take either one of y'all. Yes. Thanks for joining us. General Eberlin, we're going to start with you, if that's all right, and talk about the Air Logistics Complex. So the Warner Robins ALC is vital to advancing DoD priorities, which we all know, primarily readiness and warfighting. Can you give us an update on the ALC production efforts? I know this is something you like to talk about.
Yeah. I'm a little too comfortable on this sofa, by the way.
You got water over there,
I hope
too,
I don't
if
go
you
to
need it.
sleep.
Yeah.
Kidding. So fiscal year 24 was an incredible year for the Warner Robins Air Logistics Complex. We executed 4.1 million production hours, produced 132 aircraft, and 75,000 parts for aircraft across our nation's air forces, and for shells, so the parts there when we need it. And so within the complex, we have an aircraft production group, and our requirement is around, we have to overhaul around 130 aircraft a year. And so we did 132 last year overall. And then we have our electronics maintenance group and our commodities maintenance group, and they overhaul pieces and parts, like flight controls, line replaceable units that go on an aircraft and help an aircraft to function. And we have enterprise partners that work with us throughout all this. And so the supply chain management wing, our engineering teammates, our systems program offices, they're all here with us. And so everything we do is an enterprise-wide effort. There's not enough superlatives to describe. Laura talked about the year we had. with the Mason Award and our C5 production squadron. Back in fiscal year 22 in the summer, it was taking us 932 days to overhaul a C5. The warfighter requirement is 391. So we were between 500 and 600 days late on every C5 we were delivering, and we weren't getting the full requirement done. Our last C5 in fiscal year 24 was delivered back to the customer, our warfighting customer, at 391 days.
Ooh. That's a big leap.
And so, why does that matter? If it's here, it's not out in a field unit being employed. So every aircraft that we overhaul here, we have to get it done. And we have to get it done in accordance with the warfighting requirement because our job is to support the warfighter. C-130s. We produced 50 C-130s in fiscal year 24, which is the most we've ever done here. Three more than what the customer requirement was. In fiscal year 22, it was taking us 350 to 400 days to deliver a C5 against a warfighting requirement of 181 or 185, depending on whether you're talking H or J models. And we're delivering them all ahead of schedule now. And it's because of an incredible team of men and women. And when we use the word airman, you hear airman, a lot of people just like to associate it with, wearing the uniform. And we have, most of my workforce in the complex is civilian airmen. Men and women who serve their country just like I do. They just do it in a depot. And they're incredible Americans. And they're talented leaders and outstanding engineers. And they're the ones that make this happen. And it's those men and women that allowed this turnaround. And then also, the complex was recognized, in addition to our C5 squadron with the Mason Award, our complex was recognized as a recipient of the Air and Space Force Organizational Excellence Award, which is, there's a handful of units out that get recognized, out across the Air Force that get recognized with the Air Force Outstanding Unit Award or the Organizational Excellence Award. And our complex was fortunate enough to earn that recognition. And then most recently, our complex was named the 2024 recipient of the Air Force Material Command Maintenance Effectiveness Award for the best depot in Air Force Material Command.
All right. That's awesome.
We only have 3 depots in the Air Force, and they all reside in Air Force Material Command, so I'm just going to go out on a limb here. My boss said it. Warner Robins is the #1 depot in the United States Air Force.
Woo. You're here.
But we are laser focused on warfighting readiness. We are, in terms of aircraft production, in terms of where we are right now versus where we're supposed to be, we're 1 aircraft ahead of this point in the fiscal year, in fiscal year 25, and we're driving to produce even better results next year, this year, fiscal year 25. So I am very, very optimistic of the future of this complex and our ability to provide readiness for our warfighters.
There's your headline right there. Thank you for that update. That's amazing. The future is bright, and we are so excited to hear those updates from you. And it's been exciting to hear along the way those incremental benchmarks and how you've been able to streamline and focus your workforce here. And one of the things we talk about a lot is partnerships and collaboration and community support. General Eberlin, can you share how those actually enable mission success for the ALC?
So I'm old, okay? I've been in the Air Force between 34 and 35 years. I've permanent change of station probably 17 times, which every one of those moves represents a move to a new base where you take your family and a new community. And so probably 17 different communities across those moves. Every community I've ever been around is extremely supportive of the United States Air Force and our mission. But if you're in one of these depots or you're at a depot base, the requirements for the community and the involvement and the level of understanding between the community and the installation, it has to be on a whole nother level because, you know, if I'm primarily at a military installation, I move my family in, we move our family out. Somebody like me moves their family in and moves their family out. So there's a lot of stuff associated with supporting the military member and the family in terms of community services and things like that. There's less involvement in terms of what the future workload looks like and what the pipeline outside of the base looks like in terms of supporting workload, which there's that big challenge in the complex to where our requirements in terms year to year, in terms of what we have to provide the warfighter, they're constantly evolving and constantly changing. And most of my workforce within the complex, these are men and women who were born in Georgia, grew up here in Georgia, in a lot of cases educated in institutions of higher learning in Georgia, and then decided to come to work at the base and, you know, raise a family right where they grew up. And so you have to understand like what the future workload looks like and be able to plan for that, and as well as understand what it's going to take to accomplish that workload, like with new technology, like robotics and all those kinds of things. And that's the one thing that I will say with the community we have here, it's probably the best I've ever seen at staying connected to the complex and to the base in terms of what's going on now, what's happening in the future, and then what do we need to do to build towards it. And so, and I will just, Laura talked about Blue Sky, and we showed it to General Richardson. It's a software lab up in Macon. There's Project Synergy right across the highway here, which is a software lab right here. It's not inside the fence line of Robins. However, it's an innovative solution that the community and the base work together to establish. I have a production operation out at the Macon Airport. Central Georgia Tech teaches mechanics on one side of the hangar, like skills, and some of them potentially will come to work in our complex. And we love getting young men and women from Central Georgia Tech because there's a partnership out there where they can look over the fence and see us performing F-15 workload and C-130 workload, and they get the opportunity to kind of see how things work in the complex. And so when you take all that and add it together, I mean, you have, this community is incredible, and I'll just say that the 4-star doesn't bring his civic leader program here, and the 3-star doesn't bring his civic leader program here for people to see. They have a choice of where they bring their civic leaders. And both of them, my boss and my boss's boss, both brought their civic leaders in the past year to Robins Air Force Base. And it's because of, you know, things, the community and the way things are done. Things are getting done right. And there's plenty of benchmarking. I heard it over and over with General Hawkins and General Richardson, you know, to the other community leaders. There are plenty of benchmark opportunities here. And so I just can't thank the community enough for the support and the partnership that I've experienced in my time here. And I have no doubts that this place is going to continue to be successful and at the forefront of everything long after I'm gone. So thank you very much.
Love it.
So General Eberlin leads just one mission on the installation. And as you can tell, it is very complex, not only inside the fence line, but just the networking with the community. And to have the opportunity to watch him lead and manage this entire operation, I mean, it is a phenomenal thing. And believe me when I tell you this, when something doesn't go right, I'm the first person to know. So, sir, thank you for the feedback always.
Very good. So you may notice in your programs that we have Mr. Snigowski up next, and you are not Mr. Snigowski. But we found out yesterday that General Bradfield was going to be able to join us, and we're so excited to have you here with us, and thank you for making the time. So we'll jump right in with you. So for those who may not be that familiar with Air Force Reserve Command, can you share its mission and how it currently supports national defense?
Absolutely, be my pleasure. It's great to be here, but I think that answer has already been covered by Ms. Mathis and Chief of Staff of the Air Force. We're here to kick butt anytime, anywhere.
Like this, sir.
All right. No, but seriously. Thanks for the question. We are a major command that happens to be a tenant here, a proud partner of Robins Air Force Base and the local community. This is my second time in the local community. I lived here, sent my kids to school here, prayed here, spent money here, 13 to 15, and now we're back. So thank you for, again, a warm welcome, but not just to me, because it's not about us and the leaders up here on the stage, but it's about the sense of community, the partnership, and as we say, Robin's proud. So we're definitely part of the community. So with that, we've been around for 77 years. We're about to celebrate our anniversary of 77 years for the Air Force Reserve. We've been a major command for 28 years, 1997. But we've had a local presence here since the 40s. We had a bomb squadron here back in the 1940s. With that, what are we now? What do we do now? So though the major command staff is here, and I'll explain that in a moment, we have 9 host base wings, kind of like the host base wing here, but smaller in some cases. 9 host base wings around the country, 37 wings total in 34 states, and it includes Guam. We've got about 65,000 airmen, okay? So they're not all here, but we do have 1,600 people that work here at the major command. It's responsible for the organization, training, and what we call OT&E, organized training and equip, for those units of action out in the field. Of those 1,600 people, 77% are, of the 65,000 people throughout the command, 77% are part-time, which brings some efficiencies, which I can cover later, but 23% full-time. All right, most of our folks here on base, on the staff, are full-time, but we have part-time presence as well. We have 8 units here that do various work, and we work very closely with John and our mission partners here, but, John fixes them, and we fly them. Who likes jet noise?
Sound of
Yeah.
freedom.
All right, so we got the 413th, a group, 400 people strong, but they're not all here. They're also at Tinker, Hill, Edwards, and a few other places. So as John's organization fixes them, we work closely with him to do the functional check flights to return them to the warfighter. So it's definitely a combined effort here. But why Air Force Reserve Command? We're not just the backup, okay? I said that we're largely a part-time force, but that brings some efficiencies, but it also brings decades, in many cases, decades of experience. And some of you here in this room were actually part of the reserve component, whether it be the Guard or the Air Force Reserve Command in the past, and we thank you for that. So with that part-time force, it brings a lot of experience and continuity as the Air Force, as we have talked about. Active duty Air Force does move around a lot. Traditionally, reservists don't move around as much, although, much like John, I've moved a lot too. And the other part of that is the Air Force Reserve budget is 4% of the budget, 4%, but we do 14% of the warfighting capacity. So we're there when ready. Strategic depth and surge capacity. And a couple of recent examples are the California fires this past year. We had folks on the hook to actually go out there and fight fires with C-130s that are fixed and repaired here locally. Same with hurricane hunters. Those are C-130s too. We're the sole component that does that for the nation, not just the Air Force, but for the nation. So every hurricane season, we're doing that mission. But we also have the fighters, the bombers, the SOF, the rescue. It goes on and a whole lot of world-class maintenance. So we're proud to be part of the community. Again, only about 1,600 here, but about 65,000 strong throughout the country. And on any given day, we've got hundreds and on some days thousands mobilized around the world doing the mission. So thank you.
Pretty impressive. So General Bradfield, how does the presence of AFRC's headquarters being here at Robins impact our local economy, workforce, and our overall community here in Middle Georgia?
Thank you. 2024 numbers of the 1,600 people that we have on our books, the direct economic impact is just over $300 million. Okay, now that's direct. Indirect, we also have about 800 additional jobs that could be credited for contracts and things like that. And that's about $40 million from 2024. What I don't have on the books and what I can't record is that we bring families here. And spouses work here too. In some cases, some of our adult children work here. So the economic impact is far greater than I can measure, but those are the rough numbers I've got from 2024.
Thank you so much. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, so, sir, we're talking about the capabilities and, what the reserves bring, be it activated or not, and here locally as well. So in the future, what do you see or predict as far as what the reserves will bring for capacity and supporting our nation's defense?
That's a fantastic question, and I'll tell you that's something that we analyze, and we're working with other mission partners, the other MAGCOMs, and OSD on what does the nation need, okay? So we do not have the liberty of just making up our own mission, doing what we want to do. We do what the nation needs us to do. And as good stewards of taxpayer dollars, we're going to answer that call and do that analysis. So we're deeply involved in the Air Force and OSD corporate process up in D.C. The MAGCOM here feeds that information and that analysis, and we're constantly doing studies on what are we good at, what's working, what should we add budget to and grow in certain missions, and in other cases, what missions should someone else be responsible for or is just not the nation's priority right now. So that's an ongoing process. Don't have a crystal ball, but we're excited to be part of that mission, and we will be in that mission in the future.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you for unpacking that. And the point I was getting at is your presence here in Middle Georgia will continue through the future as long as you have those requirements and develop. So thank you, sir. Thanks for unpacking.
Thank you so much. Now we get to turn our chairs this way. I really like these swivels. So Colonel Shelton, arguably the past 12 months have been the most transformative for the 461st of probably any wing within the United States Air Force. What does Command, Control, and Communication Focus Wing mean for Air Combat Command and for Middle Georgia?
Yeah, for those who've been following our path the last year, it's definitely been a turbulent, rewarding, but really groundbreaking effort that we're trying to undertake. And part of our efforts have also been making sure that the ACC portfolio here locally continues to progress. So we are just one portion of the ACC transformation. We also have Colonel Minn's team with the Spectrum Warfare Group underneath the 350th Spectrum Warfare Wing, and then also Lieutenant Colonel Elmore up here with the Bacon Mission under the 319th Reconnaissance Wing. So I'd be remiss to say our path isn't solo. We're definitely tied with our ACC partners as we continue to drive this transformation. But when we talk about command, control, and communications as the Air Force, I think we really can leverage some of what General Alvin's been talking about And he even said on this very stage a few months ago, which is the Air Force is transitioning to a mission over function focus. And historically, our Air Force has been built around wings that are tailored built to handle a weapon system, whether it's a fighter, a bomber, an intel function, a cyber function. It's always been functionally designed. And now the Air Force is trying to redesign itself based on the capacity that we do have to get after functional mission sets. And we are arguably one of the first wings to kind of take that transition and say, what is the functional mission set for C3? And being tied to that has allowed us to kind of broaden our perspective. And since that time over the last 12 months, we've divested our maintenance group, a maintenance squadron, our operational support squadron, but we've brought on the 5th Combat Comm Squadron and then just stood up our newest squadron out in California to help with our over-the-horizon communication function as well. What does that mean? It's allowed us to kind of take a different approach to a traditional mindset and see how best to leverage the capacity we do have in new and informative ways. As part of that, with the 5th Combat Communications Group now as part of our unit, it's allowed us to look at everything from radio frequency or RF-based communications to over-the-horizon cloud-based architectures of where the Air Force is trying to go. I won't go too far down in the nerd speak because I can definitely get anchored and passionate about this, but part of what we're looking at and part of what we're trying to do has recently been recognized, and since we're throwing out accolades as General Eberlin did already, our unit was recognized by ACC as a Meritorious Unit Award over this last year, just things that we're trying to get after. So it's what we're really looking to try and emphasize is to create, to use the term organize, train, and equip, an organization solely based on figuring out how to tie to theater, war-fighting focused designs and the ways that they see their theory of victory being executed and how we make sure our personnel are tied to go to whatever theater is designated as the next conflict location, and our folks can plug in at a moment's notice and be able to execute, regardless of function, based solely on the mission.
Very good. So as the Chamber of Commerce, of course, we are keenly aware and tuned into the experience that newcomers have to our community. With all of the new personnel, the 461st is bringing to Middle Georgia, what is some of the feedback the new military residents are providing you about our local community?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, right? So our wing has transitioned over 75%. I'm sure Chief can hold me to the right number. But approximately 75% of our workforce is completely different than it was 12 months ago. The people we have, the specialty codes of the individuals that show up, the uniforms they wear, completely different than they were 12 months ago. So we've seen a vast transformation of the people that we're bringing in and we're still bringing in as the mission continues to grow. As part of that, and what you've heard throughout the already talking points, I'm sure Jack is going to emphasize this as well, the community aspects are not lost. The new people, when they show up, they immediately feel like they're welcome. They're immediately embraced. They can feel that sense of home. And the connection is available to them, whether it be from where they go to shop at a supermarket or where they potentially find an opportunity to worship. All of that is just, again, kudos to the community and just the embrace that you put around the base and the personnel that get assigned here. So thank you for that and that continued support. There are a couple areas that have been brought up to say, hey, we would love to see this. And as you can imagine, with a mission transformation, we bring in a lot of young people straight out of tech school, most of them being single. And as we have a very family-oriented environment in Middle Georgia, the one thing we always hear back is, hey, wouldn't it be nice if we had a downtown area or an environment where we could let single airmen do single airman things? Now, when we had General Wilsbach here in the fall, and he even told Colonel Reese and myself, he's like, hey, sometimes that's not a bad problem to have. Because it kind of localizes where these people might find some trouble. But it is a continual feedback. Is like, man, it would be nice to have some sort of opportunity to have a downtown environment. So things that are going down at Rigsby, some areas that the community is already trying to tackle are definitely appreciated and are definitely being recognized by our folks that we're bringing in. And the second one that is now becoming just a drumbeat across the nation is obviously medical care. We have seen a lot of folks come in with specialty care needs. Obviously, they come with their own TRICARE requirements.
And we're very appreciative of what the base has been trying to get after, as well as the local community tying into the Emory potential partnership, or the partnership that's on its way. Because it's allowed the door to open for some additional care options that might explore to give our folks some of the medical care that's are being requested or being required. So those are the two big that I'd say are kind of lingering items, but we know there's active steps within the community to tackle it, and we greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely, and I'll just echo that. I mean, there's work obviously being done in both of those arenas, full throttle, very much underway. And then, of course, with proximity to both Macon and Perry, there is no shortage of stuff to do. Sometimes you just have to look a little further than right across the fence line. Anything you want to add, Colonel Reese?
Yeah, no, so Colonel Sheldon brought up a huge point, and medical care, and that merger is a huge benefit to us, because that's the first thing that we check when someone has an assignment to Robins Air Force Base, is the medical care capability and capacity. And that merger is going to bring more both of those. So now we have more opportunities to recruit our uniformed airmen to Robins Air Force Base. So thank you all for that. That is huge. Thank you.
It's a good thing. Colonel Dunlap, my friend. So we all remember it was announced, I think, at this event. I know we talked a lot about it in 2018, that the JSTARS mission would be going away and the 116th Air Control Wing would be getting new missions. Now that the JSTARS aircrafts are officially gone, what can you share with us about the status of new missions here at Robins for the Georgia Air National Guard?
No, absolutely. Before I jump into that, I do want to say thank you for inviting us to the stage. And, you know, as far as the community goes and hearing all this great stuff, it's pretty simple from the Air National Guard perspective. We moved down here in 1996 with the B-1 bombers, and we've been here for 29 years, and next year will be our 30-year anniversary.
Yay. That's awesome.
So as far as giving kudos to everybody out in the audience, I'm just here to tell you, if we didn't like it here, we would leave. So thank you, just like the other senior leaders, I want to say thank you for all the support that you've given to the Guard. And as you all well know, most of our Guardsmen also live, work, and pray in the community as well. So that's a good thing. So let's talk about missions. Yeah. Okay. As you can see, I'm not wearing any more JSTARS bling. I've taken it off. We had 2.5 decades of awesomeness, but we are laser focused on the next missions. And I'm going to talk specifically about what ties to the National Guard, but I would like to say right up front that it's not just the National Guard and RPA integration or battle management control. It's also spectrum warfare. It's the Bacon mission, because they're all connected. This fight. Test. There we go. In today's fight, everything as far as information goes touches one another. So let's talk about the facilities. They started building the operations building, I believe it was late 21, early 22. We are currently about 65% complete. Our IOC date for operations on the RPAI side is October 26, and we are on time for that. The logistics facility that supports RPAI just started all the vertical work probably about 6 months ago. The FRAG scheduled timeline for that is the spring of 27, and we are on time for that as well. Most recently, the same contractor was awarded the contract to build the new Battle Management Operations Center. And as of today, this week, they started tearing up the dirt. And we think in the next 30 to 45 days, construction on that facility will start as well. So from the facility perspective, for all 4 new mission sets, we're on time, on target. And the goal, just like the Secretary and the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, it's all 27. That's the magical date. We want to be up and fully mission capable ready to do the job, but most importantly, ready to detour, because that's our primary mission set. As far as training and air crew, and our maintainers and our logistics personnel, we're also in a really good spot. Today, right now, we are at 100% manned on the guard side. But we know throughout this entire process that we will attrit people. So I'm here to tell you right now, we're still recruiting. And we will never stop recruiting. And that's full-timers, part-timers, or we call drill status guardsmen. And then we also have civilian employees. We have Title V folks and we have state employees. We need all statuses of people to support the mission set. So we're always hiring folks. But we're at 100% today. And as far as 100% goes, on the air crew side, we're at about 40% trained. On the aircraft maintenance side, we're at about 15% trained. And all the programmatics, the training requirements, it's all in place, and we're moving along, and right now, we don't foresee any hiccups. So that is a good thing. We're trying to synergize the training of all the military members and our civilian employees with the facilities when they come up online. So I can tell you, from, I think, my perspective, Digger's perspective, Spectrum Warfare leadership, and the Bacon leadership, we are on pace to meet the Secretary's timeline. So that is a great thing for us. That's a great thing for this nation. That's a great thing for y'all. Thank you.
Yeah, very good. So the 116th is unique for Robins in that it is a Georgia Air National Guard organization. And of course, we're going to hear the economic impact for the base in just a moment, and we know how significant that is. But can you help us understand, and you've already touched on the uniqueness of the 116th, but also hit on the economic impact the 116th has for Middle Georgia?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So I think I mentioned this last year, but the Air National Guard, we're about 1,500 strong, and we have all statuses of military members, Title V, and civilian employees as well. But our economic impact, if you do the math, Colonel Reese, he's in the billions of dollars. The 116th, the Georgia Air National Guard, we're at about $190 million that affects the local economy. I have a payroll of $100 million. So we're not a small organization. The preponderance of our organization lives in the local or surrounding counties and communities, and we are embedded with y'all. So I thought it would be good that everybody kind of understood the numbers there and how significant they are to y'all and to our community. Another thing of note, especially right now in this time of transformation, we do get wrapped around the axle. It's very important we think about the mission, the function, what new missions and weapon systems are going to be coming, what kind of cuts could be coming. But I said this last year, and I'll say it again, there's $300 million worth of basically classified infrastructure that's being built. And with all that change going on, I'm here to tell you that the missions are going to stay here, not just because we're experienced and good at what we do, but the infrastructure is already here and it's already funded. So that is a very big deal. Then the last thing that I'll say on top of that is we do have, I think, about $10 million in renovations that's also synchronized right now with the new military construction. And for those of us up here, sometime that FSRM money doesn't flow, and they're fighting for that kind of renovation money across the enterprise, and we do have it coming here. So that's another good indicator that we're in a really good spot.
Very good. Good news all around. Are you ready?
Yeah.
you want to chime in first?
Yeah. Let me jump back over here before before we get the crowd really excited. So we talk about Team Robins, and it's a true team effort, a true total force effort. We heard General Bradfield talk about how he supports General Eberlin with the ALC and flying and testing the aircraft there. And to the left of me, your right, is a true total force integration effort with the Air National Guard and active duty that we're used to seeing when we had J-Stars here and we were flying that mission. But the next phase of that are all of the missions and what Colonel Dunlap was talking about, what he's going to do. But I want to revisit that for both of you. If you'll kind of unpack what that looks like, you know, today and what that's going to look like for the future, you know, as we execute this new mission. Over to you.
Well, for us, it's pretty unique in the fact that our mission set is going to be both garrison and deployed. So part of our transformation from a garrison standpoint or operating out of here is by the end of this calendar year, the expectation is we'll have a mission set that's on the ground, connected, and controlling and managing airspace, OCONUS, overseas, 24/7. And that base mission is a true combat mission. It's not a training mission. You will have individuals that rotate in and out of here to potentially support that mission, as well as individuals that are living in your communities that are coming in at 2 in the morning on a Saturday to go to work to control airspace in an overseas location. That becomes reality by the end of this next calendar year, by the end of this calendar year. The other side of that is we're also developing and continuing to improve the roles and responsibility of expeditionary communications. And this is where it gets uniquely tied with, for example, the Bacon mission and how they're doing their mission set and how they're looking to try and transform what they're actually focused on from being a primary absent or central command focused asset to being more of a global integrator across the skies of where they may get tasked to in the future. But our expeditionary ground mission set is really tied to both the command and control business, but also the responsibility to make sure that combat wings, when they deploy, are able to communicate up, by, with, and through the various command elements within theater commands. So being able to tie airfield operations and how we stand up and manage and establish a new base, having the communication there to be able to pass direction and warfighter intent, all the way up and through the 3- and 4-star level of a theater command is what we're really focused on. And being able to do that both here and deployed locations. And then that comes with, and I'll just throw out something on behalf of Colonel Mint's teams, the ability to provide real-time adjustments as mission sets are employing in those theaters when you need a software update or an assessment of what's actually happening with those weapon systems as they're doing their primary mission set, which is where his team is laser focused. So you can quickly see how these ACC puzzle pieces start to connect and feed each other, and how we're trying to get after what that new mission looks like, because it is absolutely mission over just an individual function.
Yeah, so I'll add on the another unique feature of integration. Digger was kind of getting into the weeds there on the military side or the mission side. So what's cool about having a Air National Guard organization, a reserve organization, and an active duty organization all co-located is you can take advantage of all the strengths of each of those organizations. So we all know on the active duty side that we get a lot of young active duty members that PCS in, they'll do time here at Robins, they'll PCS to another base, another mission, and then maybe down the road at some point they'll come back. The folks that really like it here try to get back here. But the unique thing with the Guard is we can take our 1,500 strong and we can embed that experience level in each of these mission sets. I've got folks that are working in Spectrum. I've got a group of people that are under his operational direction as an active duty mission. And then on the RPAI side, we lead that with another active duty organization under us. And when you do things like that, you're more efficient and you take advantage of not only a business model associated with a part-time force, but you keep continuity and experience in those mission sets. And I personally think that recipe has worked here. We proved that for 2.5 decades, and we got all the same components that are still here today going through all this change. So I really think it puts us once again in a good spot for the future.
Part of our secret sauce. Very good. Hey, friend.
Hey, friend.
So when you retire from all of this, I'd love for you to go on the road with me and let's just co-host events. This has been fantastic. But
We have to bring the chairs.
we have to bring the chairs.
We
The
got
chairs
the
are a must, yeah. So what everybody has been waiting on is the annual economic impact of Robins. And this is always kind of the culmination of this event. Thank you for letting us save it for last this year. Job well done. But I'm going to turn it over to you and let you just share with us all the great news.
Hey, so exciting times and exciting moment right now. You all have heard everything that goes into Robins Air Force Base and the contributions not only to our national security, but to Middle Georgia. But the biggest part that you're looking for right now is, what is that number? Right? What is that number? So last year we did pretty good. And this year we did even better. This year's total economic impact that Robins Air Force Base contributed to the state of Georgia is $4.2 billion. So I'm going to break that down real quick into areas and you know, some of the spaces that you sit in and how you contribute to that number. The first two is primarily on the base. The first part of that is our employment. So our payroll impact is approximately $2.9 billion. That contributes right here locally and to the state. Right? That's payroll. That's everybody's paycheck. That's what it takes to run a household, to pay bills, to live the Middle Georgia way of life. So that $2.9 billion goes right back into the local economy and state economy for that. Direct base expenditures, approximately $1.3 billion. Those are the bills we pay to you. Right,
You can clap for that, too.
Right. And overall, you know, I talked about last year, we did pretty good, 3.8 billion. This year's 4.2. That's an 11% increase. And what we're talking about here is the continuation of that, right? The expectation as we grow mission and as we continue to support our national defense the way that we do, that number and that line will continue to increase naturally. So let me break down the total workforce, right? 22,000 has always been our rough number, and we're just above that right now. 22,387 airmen employed on the installation. That's Big A airmen. That's over 14,000 civilian airmen, over 5,000 uniformed airmen, National Guard, reservists, etc., and over 2,500 contractors that we employ on the installation. We expect those to continue to increase as we grow mission, right? So our future is bright in that. So when we talk about base expenditures, what I talked about earlier, from last year, 20% increase over last year. That's huge. That's how you support us day in and day out. We can't do our missions without you and the services and the goods that you provide. So over 20% increase from last year. Another part of that is education. You heard General Eberlin talk about the universities and the education systems and how they feed directly into the air logistics complex. So this is us paying back into the economy and into our education systems with military tuition assistance. So that number is $1.8 million that our airmen, spouses, pay in education and tuition back to your institutions. Civilian tuition assistance as well. That's our civilians. They also earn civilian TA, so that goes to the education system. And then also the federal aid impact. Just our presence here brings that federal aid to the economy. That was over $2 million last year, for our children that attend the local schools and the federal aid that the schools earn for that. And I can continue. The contracts that are awarded. We can't do all of what we do without your support, without your services. So fiscal year 24 was $6.7 billion in contracts across the state. Of that, $200 million from Houston and Bibb County. So right here locally, $200 million goes right back into the economy to help us do the jobs that we need to do. But overall, tremendous past year for what Robins Air Force Base contributes to the local economy, our livelihood, our way of life here in Middle Georgia, and is dependent upon what we do here on the installation. As you can see, our future is secure and our future is bright, so that number will continue to increase over time.
That's amazing. Another big round of applause. So finally, Colonel Reese, I've heard you talk about Robins 2041. Can you explain your vision and intent behind this ambitious initiative?
Yeah, so I think Laura did it better than I can. She nailed it. So just like she said, on September 1st, 1941, the then War Department, sir, were you in there? No, I'm sorry. You said you did it. The then War Department ordered to open Robins Air Force Base. Even so much, we talk about community involvement. The then city of Welton renamed the city of Warner Robins after General Warner Robins, as Laura mentioned earlier. So that is what you can trace back just how much the community is committed, how much you are committed to the success of Robins. And that's the past. We have to understand the past in order to understand where 2041 came from, right? 100 years, in 2041 will be the 100th year anniversary of Robins Air Force Base. Right? The airmen that will show up at the gate in 2041 were born 2 years ago. So we have to do the things that we're saying here as leaders to prepare the installation to finish this 100 years. But we also want to continue it for another 100 at least. So the things that we're doing now, starting with our culture, Robins Proud really means that we are proud of what we do. We're proud of our heritage. We're proud of what we have done as a community, as Team Robins, to support our nation's defense. So understanding our culture and our heritage, our airmanship, who we are as airmen, having pride in that. And each day, striving for excellence. These new missions that we're talking about require excellence. They require precision. They require expertise. They require precise training. The education system, the local community, everything that you do that contributes to that excellence matters, because we have to get there. We have to prepare ourselves, this community, for what's to come for another 100 years. So that's the vision of Robins 2041, right? Understanding where we've been, what we're doing today, what we've contributed to. Robins Air Force Base has contributed to every major conflict since World War II. That's generational contributions to the installation. It's generational here. So understanding where we are today, and then understanding what we have to do to prepare ourselves for the future. That's the vision of Robins 2041. Putting that focus and that emphasis on all the missions, all the leadership that you see here on the stage, tying that to the community, and making sure we're laser focused on what we have to do 100 years for 2041 and beyond. So that's the vision, Robins 2041. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for understanding and just having that buy-in. That community support is huge in Robins 2041. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Reese. Please join me in thanking our mission partners for being with us today. I'm going to let them slip out, and we'll close things out here. Have you guys enjoyed our return to the Museum of Aviation? Here with your 400 closest friends. Thank you, guys. So as we part, I want to make sure to once again thank the museum for so graciously hosting us and welcoming us back. I want to give a shout out to Brad and the team from Sonny's for feeding us all. And then, of course, to Robins Financial Credit Union, our presenting sponsor, and of all of our sponsors who are listed in your program today. As you exit, you may have noticed the two big displays on either side. They are not just for photo taking, which you're absolutely welcome to do, but we have a parting gift. Thanks to Coca-Cola, the Georgia Peanut Commission, and the good folks at Moon Pies. You have a nice little snack to take on the road with you to remind you that every day in Middle Georgia is Armed Forces Appreciation Day, and as always, we are Robins proud. As you exit and grab your bag, if you will, please take your name tag and put them in the baskets. The ladies on either side will be happy to take those for you, and we look forward to seeing you next time.